Okay, everybody, good afternoon. Time for that final injury report of the week, that Friday injury report coming from the Seattle Seahawks and the Indianapolis Colts. Let's take a look at what we got here. Seahawks side, we've got Hawk Blogger with his weekly post for that Friday injury report, running it down. Posted this image. Let's take a look here. As you can see, it's relatively clean. Now, I will say this, and I haven't seen this before, it's 2 pages. It's actually 2 pages. There are a couple of names listed down here at the very bottom, and that is certainly notable. But again, this injury report is filled with players who either were never actually injured or are not really appreciably injured at this point. Guys like Ernest Jones, DeMarcus Lawrence, Uchenna Nwosu, they were listed, but there was never any real concern that they would miss this game. Before we go any further into this video, I want to tell you a little bit about my friends over at Sleeper. Let me tell you, if you're not using Sleeper this year for daily fantasy football, you are missing out. Check out the left side of your screen right now. Look at all the great fun stuff you can pick on over there. All kinds of over-unders, pretty much any sport you can imagine. Obviously, we're big fans of football around here. Let's take a look at my entry for this week. I've got Jerry Jeudy going over 34 yards against the Bears. I got Derrick Henry scoring a touchdown against the Bengals. I've got Pat Mahomes going under 241 passing yards against the Chargers. And I have Jason Myers kicking at least 2 field goals against the Colts. So get on over to Sleeper. You can put together an entry just like this. And if you use promo code SBN, you can get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Check them out and test your football knowledge. Okay, so as for the stuff that we actually were kind of engaged in terms of things that could have theoretically gone one way or the other, AJ Barner, no game status. Tyrese Knight added to the injury report on Thursday with the calf, no game status. Julian Love, kind of an interesting one, no game status here. So even though he was limited the first 2 days, and I don't know about today, is not questionable. There's no doubt that he's going to play. Okada, no game status, so good to go. Jaron Reed, no game status. Cody White, no game status. So all those guys, good to play. Expect to see them on the field. And if we need them, they are there for us. So all good news there. So let's get past all of that and talk about the few actual game statuses we have. And we do have a few worth talking about for sure. We got 3 guys that are questionable. One is Riley Mills, so potentially could be activated. Definitely worth monitoring. Definitely worth considering. I do kind of want to push this off one more week and activate him next week. But I think there is maybe some wisdom behind getting him reps in this game against a weaker opponent. That way you don't play him his first ever NFL action against the Rams. I could see that argument. I could see a compelling case to be made that he should be brought up this week. We'll find out tomorrow. But he is questionable, and he's been a full participant in practice for a while now. So, I mean, if he's not ready, he's very close to being ready for sure. Eric Saubert is questionable. And by the way, it would really be nice to have him for this week, and maybe this week only, but I want him to be out there. So hopefully we get good news in the next couple of days, but as of right now, questionable. And this one's a little bit surprising after yesterday. Jalen Sundell, center, after being a full participant on Thursday. We don't know what happened today. He is questionable. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Remember, the NFL got rid of the probable moniker. So therefore, if Jalen Sundell is considered to be like 80% to play, they still have to list him as questionable because you can't list him as probable now. In the old days, you just put probable on him and you're good to go. So maybe everything's good, everything's cool, but I was definitely hoping that he would be no game status, ready to rock, and we didn't quite get there. I still think he'll play. I still think he's likely to get activated, but We'll find out. All right, so those are your questionable guys. 2 players are out. So we do have a couple of out players. One is Elijah Arroyo. Not surprising. If you've been following stuff this week, it's been pretty clear that he was not going to play. The other, I'm going to have to move my head so you guys can see, Derek Young. Derek Young is out, despite being a full participant in practice earlier this week. Now, I think that this is very clearly more of a matter of we don't need him, rather than he's not ready to play. I would be pretty surprised if Derek Young wasn't available physically. We just know that we have enough going on that now is not the time to call him up. Maybe a receiver like Jake Bobo gets hurt this game, and then for the next game you need Young. But what this also means is that we know Young is not the guy who's going to get activated. So we have 2 activations available, 2 slots. And we have 3 players we can use it on: Sundell, Saubert, and Mills. My hope is Sundell and Saubert, but however it goes, that's the way it needs to go. At the end of the day, we're playing a team with not even a 4th string quarterback playing for them right now. Like, I don't know what you would call Phillip Rivers right now. And by the way, all the reports we're getting indicate that while the Colts are not committing firmly, they do seem like they're going to play Phillip Rivers this weekend. So that is probably the matchup. If you need to go a little bit thin, this is a week where you should be able to get away with it. Now let's go to the Colts injury report posted by Adam Kaplan just a little bit ago on X. Definitely some interesting stuff here. It's not great. It's not great for these Colts. I'm just going to say that right now. It's not great. Let me bump my face over just a little bit here. And yeah, they got problems. They got big problems here. Let's start with the things they have that are not problems. Josh Downs, full participant all week, no game status. He is going to play. Ebukam was on the injury report today, but he was resting, so nothing to worry about. Zaire Franklin, not really doing anything other than resting today. Doesn't seem like it was related to the injury. So Zaire Franklin, good to go. No injury. Jalen Jones, full participant all week. No game status. Riley Leonard, this is an interesting one. Let's come back to Riley Leonard. He was a full participant all week. He is listed with no game status, but there does seem like there's a problem. So let's come back to that in a second. Alec Pierce, full participant all week, good to go. Grover Stewart, after resting yesterday, full practice today, no game status. And let me move my head so I can confirm that, but no game status for Grover Stewart. So we are at least getting all of that. Now, going back to Riley Leonard real quick here, because this is the thing. Physically, it seems like he can play. He was a full participant in practice all week. Seems like he could go out there and play quarterback, and Brandon of the Hawks Nest has talked about this, and it does seem to be the case. Riley Leonard cannot really run. He can play quarterback, he can throw technically, but he cannot use his mobility, he cannot use his legs because of the injury that he has. So therefore, while he can play, he cannot play well because Riley Leonard without his mobility is nothing. So while he is theoretically available, and while you might see him active, and maybe even play some, it's not something the Colts want to do because they know his game has been completely crippled by the injury that he is working through. There are certainly players in this league, quarterbacks, who could play if they lost their mobility. Riley Leonard, not really one of them. Okay, so beyond that, we've got one player is questionable, Tyquan Lewis, defensive end, not a starter for them. Did get ramped up to a full participation today, so it seems like he will probably play, but listed as questionable. And then they get hit with the big ones. We already know about all this stuff at quarterback with this Colts team. We already know Charvarius Ward is out. He's on IR. DeForest Buckner, who did practice this week, was hoping to get back, going to be held out, not activated off injured reserve. So he is not going to play this Sunday. That is a pretty important part of their defense. One of the pieces that makes their defensive line quite good. He's missed some time this year. The Colts have suffered for it. and it looks like he's going to miss this game as well. So we don't have to worry about DeForest Buckner. Ahmad Gardner, no practice this week. He is out, as expected. So not only are they down Ward, they're down Sauce Gardner. Therefore, they are down to backups at both outside corner spots. Very weak in that secondary. They are going to have to come up with something very special to slow down this passing attack. And I think it's probably beyond their ability to do. Like, think about that fall off. This Colts team was built around the idea after the Sauce Gardner trade of getting elite play from their corners in Ward and Gardner, and now they don't even have either guy on the field. Anthony Gold, wide receiver, no practice this week. He is out. He does not play a lot of receiver for them, but he is a return man, so there is going to be something lost there. And finally, this is another very significant one. Starting right tackle, Braden Smith, is out. Did not practice all week. Could not make it back. He's out. So they're going to be down to a backup at right tackle. That is a Colts team that is pretty dependent on their offensive line to be good. And with a quarterback making his first start in 5 years, that offensive line is something that you're really going to need to be locked in. And without Braden Smith, hard to imagine they're going to be really locked in. So starting defensive tackle, best defensive tackle on the team, out. Starting right tackle, out. Starting outside corner, number one corner, out. And you've got a punt returner, kick returner, out. Put it all together, it's just not a good recipe for these Colts. So they got big problems. Seattle has comparatively small problems. Okay, more videos coming later. See you guys soon. Go Hawks. Everybody have a good day. And there's your injury report. Let me know what you think. And we'll see what the game is on Sunday.